Sanırım başlayabiliriz. Gelenler oldukça da ben zaten almaya devam edeceğim. Bekleyenler odamızda bazı öğrencilerimiz var. Onları da alalım içeriye. Tekrardan hoş geldiniz. Bugün İtalya, hatta dünya ve İtalya'da çok popüler bir üniversite olan Universita Cattolica'da del Sacro Cuore, bir özel üniversite. Bu üniversiteyle alakalı bilgilendirme webinarımız olacak. Konuk olarak da okul temsilcisi Aishah Pathak bizlerle birlikte olacak. Etkinliğimize kısa bir Academix tanıtımıyla başlayacağım. Akabinde de sözü Aishah'a bırakacağım ve Aishah da bize okulla alakalı programlar ve olası burs alternatifleriyle alakalı bilgi verecek. Program kapsamında okulla alakalı genel bir tanıtım olacak. Bunun dışında etkinlikle ilgili içerik daha çok hem lisans hem yüksek lisansa özgü olacak. Yani ayrı ayrı part bölmedik. Yani bir kısmı lisansta bitirip işte yüksek lisansa devam etmeyeceğiz. Etkinlik ikisini kapsayacak şekilde ilerleyecek. O yüzden bütün dikkatinizi verebileceğiniz full bir sunum olmasını planlıyoruz. Bunun dışında etkinlik daha önce de belirttiğimiz gibi İngilizce dilinde gerçekleşecek. Hani sorularınız olursa mikrofonunuzu açarak ya da direkt Türkçesini de yazarak, karışık olduğunu düşündüğünüz bir şey varsa da direkt Türkçe'de yazabilirsiniz. Ben bu konuda size yardımcı olacağım sorularınızı İngilizce tercüme konusunda da. O kısımda hiç çekineceğiniz bir şey olmasın. Direkt Türkçe ya da İngilizce olarak da sorularınızı iletebilirsiniz. Kısa bir akademik tanıtımıyla başlayalım. Akabinde sözü çok uzatmadan direkt Ayşe'ye ileteceğim. Online webinarlar kapsamında etkinliklerimize başlamıştık. Bunların ilkini zaten geçtiğimiz hafta Domus Akademi, İtalya'daki bir tasarım okuluyla başladık. Bugün Cattolica'yı ağırlayacağız ve etkinlik serisinin devamında da ilerleyen günlerde keza Istituto Marangoni ve NABA'da bizlerle birlikte olacak. Akademik olarak her sene aslında biz bu etkinlikleri bahar aylarında, yani bu aylarda fiziksel olarak İstanbul'da seçtiğimiz ofisimize de yakın otellerde öğrencilerle yüz yüze formatta gerçekleştiriyorduk. Etkinliklerimiz aynı zamanda okul yetkilileriyle tanışabileceğiniz, eğer tasarım okullarıysa da portfolyo değerlendirmesi yapabileceğiniz etkinlikler oluyordu. Ancak maalesef ki pandemi süreci sebebiyle bu sene online formatta ilerliyoruz. İnşallah kısa sürede bu sıkıntıyı da atlattıktan sonra eskisi gibi yüz yüze okul temsilcileriyle sizi bir araya getirmeye devam edeceğiz. Önümüzdeki ay Akare Yurtdışı Eğitim Fuarları keza gerçekleşecek. Academix'in kurucu ortağı olduğu fuarlardan bir tanesi ki bu fuarlarımızdan da gerek akademik sitesinden gerek akare.com.tr'den de fuar hakkında bilgi olabilirsiniz. Nisan'ın 2. haftasında gerçekleşecek bu fuarda hepinizi bekliyor olacağız. Kısa bir akademikten bahsedeceğim. Öncelikle bugünkü okulumuz Cattolica. 1921 yılında Milano'da kurulan özel bir üniversite. Bu sene 100. yılını kutlayan köklü bir üniversite diyebiliriz Cattolica için. 4 tane kampüsü, 12 tane fakültesi ve 43 bin öğrencisiyle birlikte 1200'den fazla akademik kadroya sahip Avrupa'nın en büyük özel üniversitesi diyebiliriz. Bir yandan da gelenleri almaya devam ediyorum. Her sene 10 bin civarında mezun veriyor. Senelik 29 milyon euro gibi ciddi bir meblağda research bütçesine sahip bir okul. Okuldaki öğrenci ve profesör dağılımı, yani öğrenci başına, daha doğrusu profesör başına düşen öğrenci sayısı 21'e 1 gibi bir oran, gayet yüksek. Hatta okula gelen ziyaretçi akademisyenlerle birlikte bu oran 8'e 1'e kadar düşüyor. Oldukça büyük bir üniversite olmasına rağmen oldukça da büyük butik bir yaklaşımı var öğrenci konusunda Cattolica'nın. 43 lisans, 48 de yüksek lisans seviyesinde program sunuyor. Toplamda 91 farklı program alternatifimiz mevcut. QS sıralamasında, dünya sıralamasında dahil bir okul. Yani bölüm bazlı baktığımız takdirde psikoloji, tıp, hukuk, finans, ekonomi gibi Türk öğrenciler açısından oldukça popüler bölümlerde ciddi rankingleri olduğunu söyleyebiliriz ki zaten birazdan da Aishah bu alternatiflerle alakalı bilgi verecek. Bahsettiğim gibi bugünkü sunumumuzda lisans programlarından bahsedilecek. Master programları ve programları diyorum çünkü Cattolica bünyesinde hem bir yıl hem de 2 yıllık 2 farklı master karşımıza çıkacak. Normal master ve specialized master dediğimiz 2 farklı master tipimiz olacak. 1 ve 2 yıllık olmak üzere. Bunun dışında da keza summer session alternatifleri de Cattolica bünyesinde mevcut. Ve sonunda belki de en çok merak ettiğiniz kısımlardan bir tanesi olan Cattolica bünyesindeki scholarship'ler, yani burs imkanlarından da bahsetme şansı olacak. Academix olarak biz 96 senesinden beri hizmet veren bir firmayız. Sene içerisinde yaklaşık 3000 civarında öğrenciyi yurt dışına gönderiyoruz ki şimdiye kadar da zaten neredeyse 50.000 civarında öğrenciyi bir şekilde çeşitli programlarla yurt dışına gönderdik. 300'den fazla anlaşmalı okulumuz var. 30'dan fazla ülkeyle çalışıyoruz. Şu an için Türkiye genelinde 5'i İstanbul'da olmak üzere 12 tane şubemiz var ve yakın zamanda da yeni şubelerimiz duyurulacak. Geniş bir aileyiz. 60'tan fazla danışmanımız var ki zaten bugünkü katılımcılarımızın her birisine doldurduğunuz formdaki şube seçimine istinaden en yakın olacak şubedeki danışmanlarımızı assign ettik. Yani şu an daha etkinlik başlamadan hepinize atanmış danışmanlarınız var ve etkinlik sonrasında bu danışmanlarımız size ulaşacak ki ayrıca da zaten Aishah size mail olarak gönderecek. Etkinliğin bir kısmına katılamazsanız ya da katılamayan arkadaşlarınız varsa da etkinliğimiz şu an kayıt halinde ve Academix'in YouTube sayfasında da etkinliğin tekrarını izleyebilirsiniz. Academix'in oldukça fazla uluslararası akreditasyonları mevcut. Şubelerimizden de bahsetmiştim. 5 tanesi İstanbul'da, Taksim, Beşiktaş, Kadıköy, Ataşehir ve Bakırköy olmak üzere. Bunun dışında da diğer şehirlerde ve diğer daha butik lokasyonlarda ve ekranda gördüğünüz merkezlerde bizleri bulabilirsiniz. Bunun dışında Academix'in belirtmem gereken bir özelliği de ödüllü bir acente olması. Amiyane bir tabirle sektörün Oscar'ları diyebileceğimiz Study Travel Magazine'in son 5 senedir finalistiyiz ve son 3 senedir de bu ödülün sahibiyiz. Pandemi sebebiyle gerçekleşemeyen 2020'de de finale çıktık. Umarım ünvanımızı koruma şansımız olacak önümüzdeki senede de. Academix bünyesinde bugün İtalya'yı konuşacağız ama sadece İtalya yapmıyoruz. Daha doğrusu sadece lisans master değil, dil programları, lisans ve master programları, MBA programları, sınav hazırlık kursları, bunlar keza IELTS, TOEFL ya da daha mesleki ağırlıklı İngilizce isteyen öğrencilerimiz için de program alternatiflerimiz mevcut. Bunun dışında 18 yaş altı için de Junior Summer Camps imkanımız var. Bunun haricinde de sertifika ve diploma gibi mezuniyet sonrasında da yapabileceğiniz kısa süreli lisans üstü, master altı, ara seviye yani tesis yüksek lisans özelliği taşıyan 1 yıllık, 2 yıllık programlar da keza mevcut. Bunların dışında yaz döneminde kredi saydırabileceğiniz ve döndüğünüzde üniversitenizde bazı kredilerden muaf olabileceğiniz summer session programları da bünyemizde var. Keza biz bunları Amerika'da, İspanya'da ve İtalya'da sunuyoruz ki Cattolica'da bu summer session'ı sunan okullardan bir tanesi. Bunun dışında zaten biz paket olarak size ücretsiz bir danışmanlık sağlıyoruz. Yani siz kendiniz de Cattolica'ya başvursanız, bizimle de başvursanız herhangi bir ücret vermediğiniz gibi bütün vize süreciniz ve geri kalan danışmanlıklarınız profesyonel bir şekilde ve ücretsiz olarak sağlanıyor. Keza sigorta olsun, konaklama olsun, çeviri olsun, uçak bileti organizasyonu gibi hizmetlerinizi biz size ücretsiz olarak, paket olarak danışmanlığını sağlıyoruz diyebilirim. Sitemizi ziyaret edebilirsiniz programlarımızla alakalı bilgi alabilmeniz için. Zaten oldukça fazla program ağımız mevcut. Özetle Work and Travel hariç hemen hemen her şeyi yaptığımızı söyleyebilirim. Dediğim gibi bize ulaşmak için web sitemizden size en yakın şubeyle ilgili form da doldurabilirsiniz. Direkt Merkez Taksim şubemizi arayarak yakın şubedeki danışman bilgisini isteyebilirsiniz veya direkt bize e-mail ile ulaşarak da bilgi talebinizi iletebilirsiniz ve aynı gün içerisinde hatta birkaç saat içerisinde danışmanlarımız size dönüş yapıp talebinizle ilgileneceklerdir diyorum ve Academix kısmını bitirip sözü Aishah'a bırakıyorum. Aishah, hello.
Well, hello. Or rather, should I say, merhabalar.
Very welcome. It's very nice to see you again.
And you, until we physically come again to Turkey generally, and all the cities that we go with Academics. Absolutely. All right, so let me share my screen before I start talking.
Sure. I think I should give you an authorization right now.
No, I managed. I think you're seeing this. You confirm?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, okay. It's on you.
No, still not. I can see that it's sharing.
Okay. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, good. Let me go into full screen. Okay. All right. Well then, Selçuk, thank you. Thank you for the word, and ciao, as we say here in Italy. Very nice to meet you. Unfortunately, it's just meeting for now. But hopefully I will hear some of your voices, or at least see some of your texting in the chat. So my name is Aishah Pathak. I'm the Turkey country manager in Cattolica and have been for the last 9 years. I always joke, you shouldn't say this to my other students, but I am particularly close to Turkey. You're one of my favorite students, and you're actually one of the largest communities of international students in Cattolica. So my purpose here is not just to tell you what Cattolica offers, because you have a brochure and a website for this, and you have Academix. What I'm here to tell you is what those things that maybe you maybe know, but you don't often think about. You don't reflect of Italy, of this university in specific lights. And of course, I'm here to answer your questions, because we're all extremely tired of webinars and Zooms and all this, but I'm sure a lot of you are studying online right now. But I want to make this as useful a time for you. This is not about me having to talk, but it's about you having to ask your questions. So even if you're a bit shy, okay, please use this time. I'm expecting 30 minutes maximum of presentation. And then I really want to leave the floor to you, because I need to be useful to you. So this is what my goal is. So essentially, the first thing is, we are actually the largest private university in Europe, okay? But I think it's, especially when I started working for this university, one thing came really clear to me, and I'm very proud of, and that is that despite being pretty much the biggest university in Europe, we have a very personalized approach to our students. And therefore, I'm going to be your point of contact when you are understanding which programs you want to apply it for, entry requirements. When you refer to academics refer to me. We're in constant liaison. And I think that's pretty useful, especially for Italian universities. It's not so common to have a country manager. So as I mentioned, it's 9 years that I've been coming to your country. I visited most of the big cities with students. So, there's just that cultural and that knowledge of your system and education system that I really can make a big difference when you may feel intimidated contacting such a big university, but just make sure that somehow, by some way, we will try and have your questions answered personally. I know Selçuk spoke for 10 minutes on Academix and what they offer. I just wanted to emphasize this. If you're thinking, why the university? I mean, what's the relationship between Academix and the university? Its Academix have been for the last 9, almost going to 10 years, our reps in Turkey. And really, they can offer you a service that, you could even get it without them, but it's not the same. The visa process is complicated for Italy. They know how to guide you when it comes to the different programs. It's not easy to navigate between 30 plus programs. So they're really, I strongly recommend that they're ethical. There's a lot of agencies out there in Turkey that, may give you false expectations on what to expect. They are ethical. They know their job. And you also will be able to apply for any program except for medicine with an application fee waived. Of course, you apply for medicine, but there is an application fee that you cannot have waived. For everything else, as a little thank you for using our trusted reps, by all means, do refer to them. With 14 branches across the country, you'll be able to have guaranteed support. So why Italy? Okay, so we're talking about this university, but let's take a step back. And why should you come to Italy? I could spend 30 minutes only on telling you why Italy, okay? And especially in 9 years of coming to Turkey, I really see some points of contact that I think justify. And I think this is why also there is such a large percentage of Turkish students coming to Italy. I'm sure that you probably all know maybe someone that has moved here, whether for work or for study purposes. Studying purposes make particular sense. But we all study because we got to work later, right? Most of us. And I think this is one of the key things. So from a cultural perspective, if you've met Italians, you see that we have enough common ground to have less of a culture shock. Okay, so whether an Italian comes to Turkey or Turkish comes to Italy. But more specifically, when it comes to businesses, if you just think, for example, that Istanbul has 4 direct flights with Turkish Airlines to Italy. And when you go and take any of these flights, they're not only people going on holiday, but they're actually businessmen. I think that I'm always amazed by that. I think there's just so much connections. Italy is one of Turkey's key commercial partners, along with Germany. So there is a lot of business happening between the two. If you think about Unicredit, if you think about Banca Intesa, if you think about Barilla, Ferrero, these are all Italian companies that have invested a lot and are employing a lot within Turkey. Now, you could say, I don't care about finance. That's not my sector. I don't care about the food industry. Don't forget that whatever is going to be your position, unless you're going to be specifically looking at something very, very, very, very niche, pretty much all companies need someone for marketing, and they need the engineer, and they need someone who does communication, and very different aspects. So I think the business ties between the two countries are fantastic. Healthcare, we're in the middle of a pandemic, well over a year. We actually have one of the most efficient healthcare systems. So if you are looking for medicine, or if you're looking for healthcare management, which is one of our masters, then this is a particularly interesting place for you, because healthcare efficiency, right? It's not just about having good doctors. It's about having good structures of systems that can deal with what you need. Whether you're into the fashion industry, whether you're looking into made in Italy products, everything from food, wine, yachts, whatever it is. Obviously, there is a very strong import and export notion in Italy and in Turkey, which is also justifies one of our key commercial partners. So there's really a strong sense there that I think when you're thinking about language skills, cultural skills, this is really an extra plus. Once you've said, okay, I want Italy, then what about Cattolica? Cattolica is often associated to Milan. This is where I'm based. This is where my colleagues are based. But actually, we have 4 different campuses, okay? And that's Milan, Brescia, Piacenza, Cremona, and Rome. Where will you study? It depends on the course. Every course has a strategic location to the territory. So if you're going to be doing economics, business management, communication, you want to do this in Milan because it's the economic capital. If you want to study anything related to food production management, food systems, you want to do that in Piacenza and Cremona, because these are 2 towns that are in the Italian food valley. If you're looking into more physics, if you're going to more into the innovation side of things, then you want to go to Brescia, where we have our physics labs. If you're looking into medicine or healthcare, you want to go to Rome, because that's where we own the 2nd largest hospital, which is the Policlinico Gemelli, and I'll be mentioning this later as well. So try to think, what do I want to study? Where can I do my internships, and where are the companies? Okay, probably Cattolica will be teaching in the center of these different cities. Why Cattolica? I mean, the answers are so many. And I think what I really want to say to you are the ones that I think resonate the most with where you're standing. You probably have spoken to so many universities from all over the world right now, and everyone goes around saying that they're the best ones, but really it's about the fit. So you need to find out ask the right questions. Is this university a place where I can be happy? It's not just about entering the university. That's entry requirements. It's about, I'm going to come into the university. Am I going to be happy? Am I going to thrive? Am I going to start am I going to get the skills I need for a job? That is what you want to be asking. So in regards to this, the fact that we are private, to us, like within an Italian context, means that we basically have more budget, which we can reinvest in services. Now, the education in Italy is amazing. There's 80 plus, 90 plus, I can't even remember how many universities. They all teach really, really good. Education is a big deal here. It's very thorough, it's tough, But within that, we are actually considered an Ivy League university. So we are, one of the most reputable ones. And because we're private, again, as I said, we focus on services. So even though other universities teach well, not all universities are in a position to offer an international student like you are the services that they need. Just think the fact that you have a personal rep, the fact that you have Academix as an agency there to help you. I am in touch. I personally know the consulates and the embassies. We give you full private support on that. Once you come here, you have tutors. So things that you say is normal for the Anglo-Saxon world or for universities that have international students for a long time, it's not so common in Italy, or I dare say for continental Europe generally. Again, sense of the individual. You may be one of many students, but because you're international, being a minority can sort of allow you a little more attention on you. So this means specific scholarships for you. This means having a specific, we have English speaking healthcare staff in campus. You have that little extra stuff that you need because of your language and your cultural diversity. Our rankings, I'm going to go on to next, but really sort of services. And there's one key point, which is we are multidisciplinary. Turkey, you have 4 years of studying. America, you have 4 years of studying, and you can do, your major and your minor. In the UK, you have 3 years of studying, but you can do joint honors. In Italy, you have 3 years where you have to specialize in one subject. If you are especially, or if this is for a bachelor's, for a master's, you have 1 year or 2 years. It can be daunting thinking, oh my goodness, especially for a bachelor's, like how am I supposed to become, do I know at 17 or 18 what I want to study? I have 3 years to commit for something specific. Yes, but because we are multidisciplinary, so we have different disciplines, different subjects. For example, if you want to study economics, you may have the impact of psychology, sociology, political science in that. And of course, where you can choose modules, you can try and benefit this so that you are as well-rounded as possible whilst being a specialized expert in that field. In terms of rankings, obviously rankings are something to take with a pinch of salt. If you don't know that expression, it just means with caution. Rankings can be fantastic as a good parameter, and they can be pretty misleading. The 2 rankings that I'm going to mention, I think, are pretty useful. The first one is subject rankings. If you just only take, for example, Istanbul, how many universities, there are teaching economics, just think how many faculties there are. Our subject area, our faculty of economics, for example, is in the top 200 in the world. So to be top 200, to be 150 in the world is not easy. And we do that. We've managed to do that. This is internationally. So if you are afraid of having a CV that says Cattolica and people not recognizing that, I'm pretty sure that this is not going to happen because in the last years, we really, really, really worked hard on the rankings. And I'm a personal favorite about work. Again, we're working here afterwards, right? We study and we work. Considering that no university is a job agency, a university teaches. Having said that, a university has a moral obligation towards helping students get access to the companies that are in their sector and in the roles and positions that are relevant to their sector. We are number 1 in the whole country for employer-student connections. So we try and play matchmaking. We take the companies, we take the students, and we try to put these together. Some programs do it a little more, some do it a little differently. But what's very interesting is that all of them will give you this opportunity, and all of them really work at an international scope as well. Just a mention of the services, again, that I spoke about before, a healthcare center on campus. We don't have accommodation, for example, in Milan, but we work with a list of providers because we're too central. We have language support because even though you do not need to know Italian to study at Cattolica, you are going to come and live in a English speaking country and a non-Turkish speaking country. So of course you should learn Italian. And of course it's going to increase your chances of finding an internship and finding a career. Okay. Even if you go back to Turkey, think about how many Italian companies you can target back in Turkey. So I really, really recommend that. And we have options for that, orientation week events, even virtually. Important to say, all degrees, 2 years and 3 years, and medicine, starting 2021 are all guaranteed to go online as well as in presence. So if you're thinking, I'm this COVID, how am I going to start at your university? How can I benefit from these services online with over 1 year of practice? Yes, you can. We're definitely keeping that option open. Another way to judge a university is to see who they're partnered with. Yes, coming to Italy is studying abroad, but sometimes it's not enough. If your finances, if your program allows, go elsewhere on top of that. You can get scholarships for dissertations if you're an MSc student, a 2-year Master's of Science program. If you want to go for an internship abroad, I know a lot of students who, for example, went to do the London School of Economics summer school. We work with some of the highest Ivy League universities in the US. So for example, again, if you're thinking US is a dream, but because of finance or other reasons, I cannot go now. Okay, if you choose a university, for example, like us, that we work with these partners, there's their option. We do a lot of double degrees as well, which is a fantastic opportunity. In 2 years, you get 2 different degrees from 2 different universities, and that's brilliant. And so there's just really a lot of language options. If you want to study Chinese for the business sector, it doesn't matter. The point is the option is there, and you can find out about this, obviously, getting in touch with us and once you enroll. Right, we have undergraduate and postgraduate students here. I'm going to try and give equal weight to both. Of course, I cannot go into too much detail, otherwise it's boring for half of the audience of you today. So this is where, of course, I'm available for Q&A afterwards for questions and answers. For the English taught degrees, there are 7 currently in English, 100% in English, okay? Communication management with a focus on food and fashion, of course in Milano, given the sector. Economics and management is one of the most hugely popular ones. The first 2 years are exactly the same, and in your 3rd year, you will specialize either economics or management. Finance is the new one. So consider we have the Italian Stock Exchange, just 15 minutes away from university. Think Milan, finance, big deal. Food production management has an amazing scholarship. If you think about in Turkey, how much you do agriculture wise, if you think about all your dairy products, if you think about your dried fruits, dried nuts, there is seriously a need for food production sustainably, health safety. There's a lot of discourses here, and we have, for this reason, special scholarships for this program in Piacenza. We have international relations and global affairs, which has a strong basis of economics. Our sort of cream of the crop, our medicine and surgery program in Rome, in what is voted, even I don't think academics even know this, it was ranked last week or 2 weeks ago that Newsweek of the United States, the magazine, has voted or has classified our hospital the best hospital in Italy. And I think that is an amazing endorsement, especially of how we tackled COVID pandemic. And last but definitely not least, psychology. This year we have had an incredible amount of Turkish students applying for psychology. What's amazing about psychology with us is that you cover a lot of ground. You don't just do the, sitting on the couch, going to psychiatry, typical image of psychology, but think about child psychology, work psychology, marketing, organizational behavior, clinical psychology. There's a lot of different aspects where you can go and then specialize in. For the 2-year programs, there is a distinction. I know this distinction is also in Turkey. You have postgraduate programs with a thesis and one without a thesis. Same, 2-year MSc degrees, where you will do a thesis and you will get a full degree program with access to PhD, if that's something that you want. Or you go for a 1-year specializing master. It is not a degree. It is like a professionalizing diploma. You do get 60 European credits. It's a little more, let's say, practice driven. We can accept, for example, if you're an engineer and you want to do business, maybe it's a bit difficult on the 2-year, but you can definitely do it on the 1 year. And then you do an internship, 9 months study, 3 months internship, finish your 12 months, end. Okay, so one is not better than the other. It really depends what you want to do afterwards. If you want to work in government, if you want to do obviously a PhD, if you want to work in banks, then you kind of need to go with the 2-year. All right. If you are going to go into the private industry or for whatever other personal reason you don't want to do for 2 years, then you can go for the 1 year. Too many programs to mention all the details of, okay, but on this slide you see, and of course all of this is on our website as well, we really have a lot of different areas in the postgraduate sector, more than for the bachelor's, all 100% in English, all with different entry requirements. The ones in red where it says special scholarship is, again, our agricultural faculty is giving some incredible scholarships because there is a need for this industry. And therefore, that's why they have a special scholarship. We'll see in the next coming slides, you know, the full range. But these are the ones that start always in September. These are the ones that are 1-year masters starting in September or November each year. You can see from the titles, they're a little more specialized. So cultural diplomacy, I don't know, like viticulture for wine, luxury goods management. There's really a huge range. Most of it is business oriented. But for example, management, you can decline it. Just general management? No. But management of healthcare, management of arts, management of data science, management of innovation. So we do a lot of these different declinations and mixing the two subject areas. And then we also have a January intake. Applications are open now, by the way. Our new program is user experience psychology, which also works at Politecnico di Milano. So that's a really, really good program. And we have also international business 100% online. Not just general programs that are also offered online, but this one is exclusively considered to be online. And then the list is there essentially. Right. Entry requirements, again, it depends what we're talking about, okay? For example, for medicine, you have an admission test, which is not the IMAT. For bachelor degrees, the main things that you need to know is if you're going to go with anything with economics or finance, you need strong mathematics. And if you're doing the Turkish diploma, we need your YUK, your TYT, AYT exams. Okay, that's a national requirement for all Italian universities. If you're going to go for a 2-year master science degree, you need to see specific subject areas. So for example, you may need X amount in maths and statistics if you want to do data science or innovation. But the main thing is to have a similar degree. So whatever you are studying in university right now in Turkey, it should be somehow similar to what you want to study at master's level here. If you're doing the 1-year master, it's more flexible, but there will be a Skype interview as well. Interesting, of course, in Turkey, I know a lot of universities teach in English. So if you're studying in English right now, you don't need to do IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, anything like that. If you're doing, if you're interested in a bachelor and you're doing an IB diploma or doing Cambridge or whatever American diploma, you don't need also, of course, to provide English as a certification. Applications, I mean, this is academics know this inside out, but essentially applications are entirely online. If any of you are interested for September 2021, we need to move fast. So get in touch because deadlines are coming up. And instead, if you're looking for the next coming years, of course, keep in touch because, you know, deadlines can change year by year, but we can send you emails about this. All right, this slide looks pretty scary. You're like, oh, I have to study this, but you don't really. Of course, the main things are to understand is that it doesn't matter what your passport is. Some of you may have double passport. Tuition fee in Cattolica is based on residency. So assuming that most of you, all of you are currently living in Turkey, you will be considered a non-EU resident and therefore because you're paying taxes outside the European Union. So you get non-EU fees. Usually, if you think about Netherlands, UK, US, Canada, this means paying more than a European. In Cattolica, because you have special scholarships, this can be the other way around. You could be potentially paying less than an Italian person. Okay. If you're going for an undergraduate degree, tuition fee with a merit-based scholarship, which is automatically given based on your high school diploma, or in the case of a Master's of Science, on your bachelor degree, on your grades, on your motivation, if you have an interview, on your interview. You see that in red. So for example, undergraduate degrees are 8,000 euros. It goes down to say 5,000 euros. If you're doing a 2-year program from 8,500, it goes down to 5,750. Remember that the Faculty of Agriculture has completely new scholarships. So you could be, if you are interested in that, let me know and you'll be amazed. It goes even less. Okay. For the 1-year program, it completely changes. It can be anything from 7,000 right up to 12,000. But of course, you have only 1 year of living costs. Regardless of the subject that you want to do, regardless of the campus that you're going to go in Italy, we predict 10 to 12,000 euros as your living costs. By living, I mean accommodation, rent, bills, food, social transport, minimum of social life. Obviously, if you join us online, you don't have that cost. Maybe you stay living with your family and you don't have that cost. So that's obviously something to consider. But those are your living costs. This is what you need to budget, 10 to 12,000 plus whatever is your tuition fee. The good thing about our scholarships is that we tell you if you have them straight away. So we tell you when we send you an offer, we tell you if you have been awarded a scholarship. So you know exactly, you can sit down at the table with your family and say, this is what my final budget is. You know, can I afford it? Yes, no, and take your options from there. We don't do full tuition fee waivers. I think our policy is a little bit, but for many students rather than few, but full tuition fee waivers. I'm pretty much done. What time is it? I roughly stayed within the 30 minutes. Website is international.unicat.it. Of course, you find this also on the Academix webpage. That's my phone number. That is the right email address to get in touch with. Our social, Instagram and Facebook are great, of course, to see photos of the campuses and stuff. But also, if you want to get in touch with some future students, maybe you can say like, guys, I got an offer for data science. Is anyone else joining? If you wish to speak to other Turkish students currently enrolled or on other programs, give me some time to get this organized, but I'm sure we can find that, especially for programs that have been running for quite a while. And that's pretty much me done. I would leave the floor to Q&A. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so that we can have a more face-to-face conversation, but I will reshare it if we need to go on any slides. That's pretty much me done. I would say there's so much more I could say, but.
Thank you very much, Aishah. I guess it was very informative and
good. There's a lot of information overload. So I don't want to bore you too much. It's better to give more information.
No worries. We have seen even longer than this, but it was really enjoyable for my end actually. I hope the students also had enjoyable.
Çok teşekkürler.
Teşekkür ederiz. Arkadaşlar sorularınız varsa alabiliriz. Herhangi bir şeyle alakalı soru olabilir. Yani kaçırdığınız kısım olabilir, anlamadığınız kısım olabilir ya da geç gelmişsinizdir vesaire. Direkt mikrofonunuzu açabilirsiniz. Chat'ten Türkçe ya da İngilizce de yazabilirsiniz. Sorularınızı bekliyor olacağız. Aishah,
can I ask you something?
Gökçen.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Buyurun.
Thank you for amazing presentation, by the way. I'm studying currently in Turkey in psychology. So I want to start university in Cattolica. So can I exchange my programs? Like if I will accept the university, do I have to start the first year?
So I think you're asking about transfers.
Yeah.
Considering as a disclaimer, for any university, transfers are not easy to do because, of course, everyone teaches. You can have the same degree, psychology, but then everyone teaches something very specific, right? Like there's different focuses of psychology. We have one key requirement. if you want to be considered for transfer, which is you need to be learning in English already in Turkey.
Yeah, it's already.
It is? Okay, then yes, we can certainly consider it. It's a little pushed for 2021. You would definitely need to get in touch with Academix and get this before the 30th of March. Okay, because transfers take time, because we need to look at every single subject that you studied and see how much of that credit is recognized. And also, we only have the first year and the second year of psychology. It's new in English. So if you're trying to go into final year, it doesn't even exist, the final year. So these are what you need to know.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Teşekkür ederiz soru için. Var mı sorusu olan? Devam edebiliriz. Mikrofonu açabilir ya da chatten yazabilir bize.
Hi, my name is Sena and I got accepted for next year. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. To the International Relations and Global Governance bachelor.
Nice. Good choice.
And I have a question. Did the first year students this year did their courses online? And what do you think will happen next year?
So they did it both. We have Turkey, thankfully, seriously, is one of the countries that has the least problems sending students, even with pandemic, to in terms of getting visas and everything. We have had Turkish students literally physically enroll in Milan or in Rome or wherever they're going. In your case, in Milano. So we started both in presence for who wants / can come. And we also offered online for who couldn't come or who preferred not to come. So we have double binary course, okay? Next year, it's exactly the same. If you want to come and, everything goes as according to plan and there's no major issues, you can certainly try and come. And otherwise, if you say, no, I prefer to do the first year online, you can also do that. We don't think any student should be penalized for either coming or not coming. So you have much more personal considerations to make. Tuition, living cost, expenses. Of course, studying online is not the same atmosphere as coming here. In any case, you need to get a student visa, even if you do online, okay? Because we are not considering 3 years online. We're considering online as an emergency, as a response to COVID, not because we are an online university. You see, there's a difference there. So, Of course, you need to be ready that, okay, it's a very, very personal choice. Like I prefer to start online just for 1 year, or I'm going to try my best to come. It's completely up to you. Either way, you're going to be getting the same lessons and the same services and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. And I have another question too. I got the merit scholarship you told, and if I study and higher my grades, is there a chance of me getting another scholarship in my second year?
So the scholarship that we give to any of you, like the UCSC International Scholarship, is valid for all the duration of your program, which is really good. You don't have to reapply, okay? So that scholarship that we give you is valid for year 1, year 2, year 3, all right?
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't increase based on your merit. Let's say that you already did the hard work. You were good enough. You were so good that we gave you a scholarship and we're going to give it to you for all 3 years. So that will not change. That will not change, period. That's going to be the same. If you find other funding, by all means, great. That doesn't matter. I mean, that's great for you. And you just have to let us know. But ours is fixed for 3 years.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
By the
welcome.
way, Aishah, I got one question on mine. Actually, is there any progression criteria to keep the scholarship during the entire education?
Sorry, I didn't understand. Is there any?
Progression criteria for you to go?
No, the scholarship is fixed. Of course, if you fail your exams and you don't finish within 3 years, that's not going to carry on. The condition is to get the minimum criteria to then pass on. But again, the scholarship is fixed. It's not merit based. Okay. Once you're in university.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Teşekkür ederiz sorusu için. Gayet güzel ve açıkçası bilgilendirici bir kısım oldu. Danışmanınız Serpil Hanım olarak görünüyor. Zaten ekstra sorularınız olursa ona da ya da keza yine Ayşe'ye de ulaşarak sorabilirsiniz. Farklı soruları olan öğrencilerimiz varsa onlar da keza mikrofonlarını açabilir veya chat kısmından yazabilirler. Bu arada bir tane sorumuz var. By the way, we got one question which is waiting at the board, which is there a deadline for application?
Yeah. Okay, so I think from Nuri, right? I'm looking at the chat. It depends. Yes, of course, there's always deadlines. Which deadline depends what program you want, and which year you want. So if you're applying for 2021, let me know what you want to study and I'll tell you what the deadline is. Of course, it's also on the website. I also saw another question about vaccine procedures in Italy for international students. Good question. We don't know. So pretty much the vaccine is currently being implemented. All the university staff has had the privilege of being vaccinated. So I got my first shot a few weeks ago. So you know that at least within the university, the staff and all the admin and the professors are all vaccinated, or at least the ones that I hope most of them have done it, have agreed to it. I'm not quite sure. We don't know yet what it's going to be, I think, for international students. So yeah, you need to keep eyes open. Probably, I'm guessing you're going to do it in Turkey at pretty much, hopefully before you come and join us here. But yeah, we're still there. The international students are not a category, not even Italian students. Students are not a category that the government has given preference to. Like, we're still working on the 80-year-olds, the 70-year-olds, and we're going to work backwards according to age.
Another question regarding the IELTS score on acceptance. What is the desired IELTS score in general?
So it depends on the program. If you're going to go for bachelor degrees, it's 6 overall. If you're going to go for a master's of science program, it can even be 6.5. So it depends on the program.
Thank you. Varsa sorusu olan alabiliriz. By the way, I was going to ask you regarding the current situation about questions. So what are the rules of the PCR test on arrival? Is there any mandatory test should be asked at the border?
So I honestly am out of the loop when it comes to travel because I'm currently locked down. I can barely go to the supermarket. So forget about a border or on an airplane. But yeah, I think for pretty much for all the borders, you need to get what do you I know them in Italian, the swab test, essentially the swab test for COVID. And you may have to do a quarantine as well, 10 to 14 days. But honestly, at this point, it matters unless you're going to come, maybe in the summer things calm down and you're coming to visit the campus. Maybe if you're applying for next year or whatever, obviously let us know. But otherwise, obviously, this information is we give you the sources before you come because things change month by month, sometimes week by week. So when you come in September or in January, depending on your program, obviously there is, we give you the websites where you get the most up-to-date information. The other good source of information and where I would check is the Italian Consulate of Turkey or the Italian Embassy in Istanbul, obviously it's consulate. So they also have the latest COVID up-to-date information.
I got another question on my private chat board, by the way. I'm going to ask you. The student, Bengisu, she's asking for the GPA requirements for the high school alumni out of 5 in Turkish system.
Right. Is this for, I'm guessing, for postgraduate program, right?
No, it's for bachelor degrees.
Oh, for the bachelor's. We don't have necessarily an overall minimum GPA. I didn't put it on the slide, not because because I forgot, because it doesn't exist. We look at subject specific. So for example, if you're going to be going for economics and management, for example, I need strong maths, which means in the Turkish diploma, that's like at least 80 out of 100. If you don't have that, you may want to consider SATs or ACTs or Cattolica's entrance test. If you're applying for international relations like Sena must have probably had some decent maths because there is also an economics aspect that we need to know. If you're applying for psychology, then it goes according to a Skype interview that you have. So it's motivational. So it really, we don't have a hardcore GPA where it's like in, out. We look at what we need to understand specific subjects.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. Bengüsü Hanım, cevabınıza istinaden tekrar etmem gerekirse de belirli bir GPA yok açıkçası lise mezunları için. Daha çok başvuru bazlı bakılıyor. Genellikle de matematik skorunun önem kazandığı bir başvuru süreci var. Özellikle matematiğin ağırlıklı olacağı bölümlerde, keza ekonomi gibi matematik skorunuza bakılıyor. Genellikle de genel GPA olarak da hani 5'lik sistem üzerinden değil de 100'lük sistem üzerinden 80 civarında bir alt koşul var ama çok fazla katı değiller. Psikoloji gibi bölümlerde de daha çok hani sayısal skordan ziyade video mülakatta motivasyonunuza bakılarak ve bir mülakat süreci sonrasında da kabulünüz gerçekleşiyor. Yani lise öğrencileri için çok katı bir giriş koşulu yok. Daha çok sayısal bölümler için matematik ağırlıklı, psikoloji gibi bölümler için de daha çok motivasyon ağırlıklı mülakat bazlı bir giriş koşulu var. Mehmet Fatih Bilgi'den bir soru var ücretlendirme ile alakalı. Aishah, we got another question regarding the tuitions. I guess this is very general because he's asking just for the tuitions. Mehmet Bey, program hangisi onu da belirtebilirseniz daha iyi olur. I just ask for the specified.
Yeah, exactly.
Another question regarding the scholarship opportunities. The student just joined a bit late. That's why she's asking.
Yeah. So scholarship again depends on program. So if you also want to just give me an indication, postgraduate, undergraduate, that helps. What I can certainly say is that scholarships are not 100%. So our scholarships are tuition fee discounts. It's a discount essentially. So instead of paying top fee, you pay a little less. And that especially for programs like the one-year masters, where it's extremely hard to get it. I'm so sorry to sound harsh, but this is all about expectation management. The point is that you are studying abroad. Studying abroad costs, and you should only really accept an offer if you feel you can afford it, because it's dangerous to go according to I hope I get a scholarship. Hope doesn't work just all the time. At the end of the day, you need to sustain yourself. You can also do part-time jobs in Italy, but you need Italian to even just do being a waitress in a coffee shop, like it's as if I had to come to Turkey and work in one of the coffee shops and the restaurants. I need to know basic Turkish. So you need to be very honest with your budget and say, yeah, okay, maybe I get a scholarship, but if I don't, do I have the money to sustain? Because we don't want you to leave halfway in your year because you couldn't afford it. Simple as.
By the way, we got another answer regarding the tuition questions on top.
Okay, psychology was it?
Law
No.
and psychology.
Psychology.
Psychology and law.
And law. Okay. Law is only in Italian. So unless you know B2 level in Italian, afraid I can't do that. If you're going to go with psychology, the tuition fee is 8,000 euros. But if you get a scholarship, as most students that get an offer do, then it will be 5,000 euros per year. So 5,000 per year times 3, 15,000 euros plus plus living costs.
Thank you. Mehmet Fatih Bey, sorunuza istinaden hukuk B2 seviyesinde minimum İtalyanca isteyen bir bölüm. Ancak psikoloji için de Ayşe'nin söylediği gibi 5.000 euroluk bir yıllık ücret var. Bunu 3 ile çarpacağız. Bir sorumuz daha var. Is it possible to be a lawyer in Italy or Turkey after graduation from law school in Cattolica?
So the answer is, what does it take in Turkey to be a lawyer with a European degree? It's not Cattolica and it's not Italy. It's a European credit degree. So you have 180 credits, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, law you have more because it's 5 years. So 360 or just under 360 credits. So you need to understand what it takes to the lawyer bar, or whatever you call it in Turkey. In Italy, of course, it's recognized. I know that all degrees in Cattolica are recognized by the Ministry of Education in Turkey. So yes, it's recognized. Can you be a lawyer? I don't know. It takes what do you need to do to be a lawyer. If you need to do an extra master's or a conversion, that may have to be, but that's completely country specific. But yes, our degree is recognized for 100%.
Mm-hmm. Another question regarding the tuition fees for medicine.
15,800 euros per year. It's the most expensive program. Still less compared to some Turkish universities for medicine, but it's 15,800 per year.
Okay. Another question regarding the scholarship. Actually, Nuri is asking regarding the scholarship.
Yeah.
He's asking, is there any requirements that you are asking for giving scholarships?
No, essentially the depends which program. For most programs, the scholarship goes according to your merit and your profile. So for example, your motivation letter, obviously your grades. It's true we don't have a minimum GPA, but for example, if you're applying again for economics and your maths is okay, it's just there borderline, but it's not the strongest, then maybe someone with a stronger profile would get a scholarship. If you have a motivation letter to write, like a special one, so for example psychology, if you want to consider one of the agricultural scholarships, how did you answer that letter? If you have an interview, how did you perform in that interview? So it is very qualitative rather than quantitative, but essentially it's your profile in whatever way you demonstrate that, whether a motivation letter, whether a Skype interview, whether your high school grades or university grades.
Bahsettiği gibi burs imkanlarında daha çok başvuru bazlı bakılıyor. Mülakat skoru olabilir, sizin ortalamanız olabilir ya da motivasyon mektubunuz olabilir. Çeşitli kriterler var. Bu kriterlerde göstereceğiniz performansa bağlı olarak burslar bölüme göre değişiyor. Another question regarding the work permit during study.
You if you have a non-EU passport only, you have the right to work 20 hours part-time a week. You don't have a work permit. Your study visa, or I should say your permit of stay for study purposes, is what gives you the right to work 20 hours part-time a week. Once you finish whatever program, doesn't matter which one, you then have the right to get a permit of stay to look for a job hunting permit for 1 year. After which, if you manage to find any sort of work, whether it's an internship or a full-time permanent contract, doesn't matter. Based on that, they will give you a work permit, the duration of which will be according to your contract. So if it's 1 year, 1 year, 5 years, 5 years, permanent. So that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Another question, will it be effective to answer specific questions such as what makes you for our acceptance with awards, or will our social works be effective? She's asking.
Will it be effective to what? Can you just repeat the question?
Will it be effective to answer specific questions such as what makes you for our acceptance with awards, or will our social works be as effective?
Okay. I think here the question is about how to write an effective motivation letter. Your same grades from your same school, applying for the same program. How does a university get?
Sen bağlantıda küçük bir sıkıntı yaşıyor.
To decide if there's only one space available. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Not that now is okay.
Okay. So essentially it's very personal. You need to tell the university what you have to offer that makes us feel comfortable, that you're not going to run away after 1 year. Why do you want to do psychology or whatever it is here? To be honest, all universities teach psychology. Everyone offers economics. So many universities offer medicine. Why here? What is there? Why does our fit work better for you? What have you seen on the curriculum that excites you more? That is essentially how you need to answer a motivation letter. You need to imagine that there's everyone in the same place as you are. So what makes you different, and why do you want this specific place?
Mm-hmm. Another question regarding the exam requirements for medicine.
The exam is not the IMAT, it's the Cattolica's own entrance exam. We're private, so it means that we can do our own exam this year because of COVID. We are doing it entirely online.
Aishah, we got lost for a while. Maybe you should repeat the answer.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Why? I don't know why we have. My internet seems perfectly fine. Okay, sorry. So for medicine, it's not the IMAT; it's our own test, and you can do it entirely online if you are non-EU. So if you just have a Turkish passport and you don't have a European passport, if you have just a non-EU passport, you can do the test entirely online, and we do this in March. 30th of March coming up.
30 Mart'ta online bir sınav var. Non-EU pasaport, yani Türk vatandaşları için 30 Mart'ta online olarak gerçekleştirilecek bu sınav. Another question on my private box from Bengisu. She's asking, which courses should we use to offer portfolio in architecture? Is there any course that you can recommend? Is there any portfolio in architecture related course that you offer, she's asking?
Not particularly, no. I think academics are better placed to redirect you. In Cattolica, we don't have anything vaguely with architecture. We do arts management at postgraduate level, where obviously if you're an architect, this can help. But it is management of arts. It's more faculty of economics. So if you want to do architecture, then talk to academics.
Bengisu Hanım, sorunuz Katolika için maalesef ki cevap içermiyor, çünkü hani bu bazda bir alternatif yok. Ancak ben şimdi sistemden kontrol ettim. Danışmanınız Ankara'dan Aslan Hanım görünüyor. Kendisi size opsiyonlarla alakalı yardımcı olacaktır. Sorunuzla alakalı portfolyomuzda cevabı var, ancak Katolika'da yok. Kendisi size konuyla alakalı ulaşacaktır. Biz etkinlik sonrasında bilgilerinizi paylaşacağız kendisiyle. Another question regarding the medical exam again. What are the procedure of medicine exam? You got the one which is qualified based, or you got the ones which is ranking based? Is there any quota of the ones for the successful?
So in a sense, it's easy. You need to first submit an application to just to say, hi, I exist. I want to do your test. You pay 160 euros. Then you sit the exam. You have to prepare for the exam. You practice, science-based questions, logic-based questions. You sit for the exam, and then there is a ranking published. If you are part of the non-EU ranking, because you only have non-EU passport, there you will be competing for 50 places. If you are in the top 50 straight away, you get an offer straight away. If you are down the list, imagine 130th, okay? We go down the ranking. We make offers to students. If students say no, or they don't pay on time, then we go down the ranking. So maybe you will get an offer. Probably you will get an offer, but it won't be straight away. It will be after everyone else has refused their place until we get there. So it is ranking based, but there is our own test that you need to sit for. So first apply to the university, second sit the test, 3, see where you are in the ranking. If you get an offer, you have 2 to 3 weeks to confirm that offer, pay the first installment, done.
Sorunuza istinaden Ayşe'nin de yanıtladığı gibi öncelikle başvuru yapmanız gerekiyor. Başvuru sonrasında 160 euroluk sınav başvuru ücretini ödedikten sonra sınavı online olarak alacaksınız. Daha sonrasında açıklanan ranking listesinde ilk 50, yani non-EU öğrenciler için açıklanan ilk 50 içerisinde yer almanız gerekiyor. İlk 50'de yer alamazsanız da genel sıralamadan puan bazlı olarak öğrenciler sıralanıyor ve o kişilerin offer'ı kabul edip etmeyeceklerine bağlı olarak sıradaki kişiler keza yine puanla içeriye alınıyor. Yani sorunuza yanıt olarak ilk seçenek diyebiliriz. Yani 50 kişi kota var, puan bazlı olarak bu sıralamada yer almanız gerekecek. Another question from Özge. She's asking, can I do an internship while doing a master degree or should I do it after graduation?
So depending on the program that you choose, for example, a 1-year specializing master has compulsory internship. You have to do it. Like there's no choice. You got to do it. Some 2-year masters of science programs also make it compulsory. Some of them make it optional. So the best way is to see your program of choice, look at the curriculum and see where the word internship appears. Regardless, if you have to do it, you want to do it, or you do it and you say, I want a second one, we have a dedicated internship and career office. And a lot of programs and a lot of faculties also have a specific internship tutor integrated. So this is why you pay a bit more for private university, just because these little things are there to help you find it. You need to be proactive. You need to, make sure you go to your CV revisions.
Sanırsam Ayşe'yi yine kaybettik.
Learn how to write a good cover. Again, we're having problems, right?
Yes.
I don't understand why. I'm sorry. It's never happened. Like it doesn't happen usually.
You haven't heard maybe for last half minutes and maybe.
Okay, just essentially that there are internship tutors. There's an internship office. So sometimes it's compulsory, sometimes it's not. Check on the curriculum, but always know that even if you want to do an extra one or even if you want to do more, you can, because we will have the services in place to find internships.
So you help them to find them.
Yes. But again, you have to be proactive.
Okay. Sorunuza yanıt olarak evet, okul bu konuda yardımcı oluyor. Another question, actually we already answered this one, but maybe the question is for you, is the requirements for medicine.
Yeah, we answered. So requirements are to pass our test and to rank as high up as possible. The requirements are very simple. You need 12 years of schooling, which you have in Turkey. And if you're doing for example, the Turkish diploma, you will need the YÖK exam at the end of your high school. That is it. This is the easy part. The difficult part is to be in the top 50 of our admission test. So that is where you need to practice and work hard. Who gets an offer is the person that features as high up in the ranking as possible.
Okay. Tıpla alakalı giriş şartları bahsedildiği gibi herhangi bir özel bir spesifik bir şart yok. Lise mezuniyeti, yani 12 yıllık bir lise mezuniyeti sonrasında Cattolica'nın kendisine özel yaptığı tıp sınavına girmeniz gerekiyor ve sınav sonrasında da non-EU öğrenciler için, yani Avrupa Birliği vatandaşı olmayan öğrenciler için açıklanan 50 kişilik kotaya dahil olmanız gerekiyor. Yani üst sıralarda ne kadar yukarılarda olursanız kabul şansınız o kadar artacaktır. Bengüsü Hanım, rica ederim. Another question, what is the overall ranking of your university? Sorry if I skipped that part.
So overall ranking should be top 500 in the world, but our strength is subject ranking, and I recommend that for any university. So we have 13 subjects within the top 300 in the world. If you tell me what subject specific you want, like what subject you want, I'll also tell you where that is, if it is one of the higher ranked ones.
Evet, bölüm bazlı belirtebilirseniz daha spesifik cevap verilebilir. Ancak genel bazda baktığımız zaman QS sıralamasında ilk 500'de economy, by the way, Aishah, the major is economy.
Okay. I believe that is, I'm going to check whilst we talk, but I believe that's top 150 in the world.
Actually, this part was on my presentation for the first part, which was from 150 to 200.
Sorry, top 200, correct. Yes, top 200. So confirmed even for 2021, because now I have also 2021 rankings that have come out, which I need to memorize that. Yes, correct. That's the right.
Evet, ekonomi bölümü yani 150
Economics, yes. You can check this on the QS rankings by subject. Yes.
QS'ten zaten.
And if you, sorry, I was going to say, if you go on our website, for example, I'm just going to share my screen for a second. You also see that very, very easily. Here, for example, this is the website. So for example, economics and management, you see here, this part. And that's economics and econometrics, top 200.
Mm-hmm.
There. So whatever program you want, there's the badges beside that. Okay, that's all. That's all I wanted to say.
Yani ilk 200 içerisinde sorumuzun cevabı. Another question from Nuri is Cattolica is in top 500, but each subject priority is in top 200.
Exactly. For economics, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got many questions. I will each was.
I know.
Yeah.
For medicine, we're top 150, by the way. Medicine, I'm really proud of.
Yes, medicine was
top 150.
150, and also law is also 150.
Yeah.
Finance is top 200.
Yeah, and just think how many universities. That's
always
humbling.
Ranking olarak Cattolica oldukça top okullardan bir tanesi diyebiliriz. Sadece İtalya bazlı değil, dünya genelinde de böyle. Bu anlamda bölüm bazlı olarak rankinglere QS'ten subject olarak da sıralayabilirsiniz. Ranking'e bakarken aslında okuldan ziyade başvuracağınız bölüm bazlı bakmanızı tavsiye ederim. Aynı üniversitenin içerisinde bir bölüm ilk 100 içerisinde olabilirken bir bölüm daha aşağılarda olabiliyor. Daha çok burada bölüm bazlı araştırmanız gerekiyor. Sorularınız varsa almaya devam edebiliriz. Bir miktar daha vaktimiz var.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
I couldn't see architecture. Do you have architecture department in English or interior architecture or design, architecture design?
No. We don't. So academics can redirect you to those universities in Italy that do.
Öykü Hanım, soy isminiz neydi? Ben listeden bakayım.
Yağcı.
Yağcı, hemen bakalım. Nur Ece Kılıç üzerinde görünüyor. İzmir'desiniz değil mi?
Hayır. Balıkesir Akçay'da yaşıyorum.
İzmir şubeye yönlendirmişsiniz en yakın şube.
Evet.
Etkinlik sonrasında İzmir Şube'den danışmanınız Nur Ece Kılıç sizinle irtibat kuracak.
Tamam.
Yani mimarlık lisans mı düşünüyordunuz? Master mı?
Lisans.
Lisans eğitimi olarak zaten hani oldukça geniş bir portfolyomuz var Academix olarak. Cattolica'da yok. Ama mimarlık olarak popüler programlar var ki zaten Eylül ayında mimarlık sınavı gerçekleşiyor. Genel olarak yapılan bir sınav ki Covid sebebiyle online olarak gerçekleşecek bir sınav. Oldukça fazla da vaktimiz var. Kendisi size dönüş yaptığı zaman opsiyonlarla alakalı yardımcı olabilir. Mimarlıkta zaten Politecnico di Torino ve Politecnico di Milano bazlı olarak opsiyonlarımız mevcut. Kendisi size detaylı bilgi verecektir.
Tamam, teşekkür ederim.
Rica ederim. Sorusu olan varsa almaya devam edebiliriz. By the way, what are the requirements for the entrance of Italy? Is there any mandatory quarantine for 10 to 14 days?
Again, yeah, last time that I had checked, it was 14 days quarantine. But again, now I'm following. Honestly, I'm not following because no one's coming and no one's leaving. So again, the best place to check is the Italian consulate. But pretty much everyone has to quarantine, self-isolate, yes, pretty much, and get a test done at a swab at the airport.
Mm-hmm. Actually, another question, the answer is clear, but I'm gonna leave it to this part. And he's asking regarding the exams of law and psychology.
Yeah. What about the exams?
So maybe you should say that there's no exam. Majors, yeah.
Oh, as in like entrance exam, as an admission test?
Yes.
There's no entrance test for those. Something similar, like psychology has something, which is a Skype interview. It's not a entrance exam like medicine, but yeah, they will ask you a Skype interview after you submit your application, where they will ask your motivation. They will ask the same questions they asked in your motivation letter. they're going to ask you in person. Of course, they're psychologists, so they can understand, at least make an intelligent guess about your profile and your eligibility and your motivation. So that's the only thing for psychology. For law, again, if you speak Italian, apart from that technical requirement, there's no entrance exam.
Okay. Fatih Bey, psikoloji ve hukukla alakalı bir entrance exam yok tıpta olduğu gibi. Hukukla alakalı zaten daha önce de belirtildiği gibi B2 seviyesinde İtalyancanız olması gerekiyor. İngilizce opsiyonu maalesef ki yok. Psikoloji için de mülakat bazlı olduğunu söyleyebiliriz. Ki mülakat için de tabii ki iyi bir İngilizce seviyesi gerekecektir. Bu şekilde yanıtlamış olalım sorunuzda. Soruları olan varsa alabiliriz. I guess I just asked all my questions and we got really nice questions from the students as well, even from the ones who accepted it. So I guess it was very informative and very productive presentation today. I really enjoy a lot, by the way.
Good. Thank you for the positive feedback, guys. It's so difficult to do webinars without seeing, I have a white wall in behind me. So without seeing you in your face and asking questions, it's super hard, trust me. But, you know, the point is we're there, right? So hopefully you've understood that whether academics, whether myself, we're there to answer your questions. So keep them coming. If tonight while you're sleeping, you think, I forgot to ask something, don't worry. There's always email, phone, and Zoom for other calls. So even if with your family, I know we have someone who's accepted her offers of Sena. So for example, if anyone, you know, your family, your parents also want to have a talk, we're there. It's an important life decision. So we understand the weight of the decision. So yeah, my commitment is to provide as much answers in an honest and informative manner as possible. And I know academics do the same. So we're there for you and good luck. Stay safe. Stay very safe. We want you all to be healthy and to join Cattolica or any other university that you're going to go for when you want to go for it. So take good care of yourselves.
It is always a pleasure to have Cattolica, which is one of our key partners in Italy and also in all around the world. So we really had to enjoy a lot. And thank you very much for allocating your time with us, which was very long, more than 1 hour.
It was a true pleasure. So çok teşekkürler and keep in touch, guys. All right, that's the main thing. Keep in touch.
Thank you very much, Aishah.
Ciao, Selçuk.
Ayşe'nin de bahsettiği gibi sorularınız sonradan aklınıza gelen sorular olabilir ya da kabul almış seçim aşamasında öğrenciler olabilirsiniz. Bu anlamda Aishah ya da keza Academix'e İstediğiniz zaman ulaşabilirsiniz ki Ayşe'nin de bahsettiği gibi aile üyeleriniz, anneniz, babanız ya da hani karar verilecek kişi, finansal anlamda kimse tercihinizle alakalı olarak da Ayşe'den destek alabilirsiniz ki zaten one to one olarak Zoom üzerinden de online olarak da görüşmeler yapabiliriz. Okullarla alakalı da haricen detaylı bilgiler de verebiliriz. Etkinliklerimiz devam edecek. En yakın etkinliğimiz 31 Mart günü yine aynı saatte keza İtalya'daki tasarım okulu olan Istituto Marangoni'yi ağırlayacağız. Daha sonrasında da birazcık bir ara verip 20 Nisan'da da yine bir tasarım okulu olan NABA, İtalya'daki NABA'yı ağırlayacağız. Zaten az önce de bahsettiğim gibi etkinliğe katılan herkese biz sistemimize işledik. Her birisine de bulunduğu şehre en yakın şubemizi de assign ettik. Hepinizin şu an birer tane danışmanı var. Etkinlik sonrasında da kendileri sizlere telefon ve mail yoluyla dönüşler yapacaklar. Sorularınız olursa da tekrardan da bir araya gelebiliriz diyorum ve sunumumuzu tamamlıyoruz. Hepinize sağlıklı günler diliyorum. Hepiniz kendinize çok iyi bakın. Tekrardan diğer etkinliklerde görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın diyorum. Aishah, have a nice day and keep safe.
Thank you. Likewise. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.